Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Custom Specials in Ultimate, where I go through a bunch of characters and speculate what could happen if we gave them custom specials like in Smash 4. If you still don't know what's going on, then I would suggest watching the first episode of this series where I lay down the rules and whatnot, which will be in the iCard right about now. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Luigi has always been in the shadow of his brother, and this has also been true in Smash since the very beginning. However, nowadays he has his own franchise to get moves from, Luigi's Mansion, so a lot of the moves I'll be pulling from there. For his neutral special, he would use the strobe bulb. This will be the flashlight used on his Hoover, which will slowly charge up, and then when the special button is released, will cause a blinding flash in front of Luigi. This will cause any opponents in front of him to become dizzy. The range of this move is only about the same as his grab, and while the move itself is being charged, Luigi can walk around but very slowly, and he is unable to jump while using it. For his side special, he would use the elemental medals seen in Luigi's Mansion 1. Luigi would shoot 3 different element types out of his Hoover in a rotational order, first being fire, then water, then ice. These were used to solve puzzles and defeat certain enemies in Luigi's Mansion, and would only have about the same range as the strobe bulb. The fire would be similar to Bowser's neutral special, the water would be similar to Mario's Flood, and the ice would be similar to the Ice Climber's down special Blizzard. I think this move would have a lot of utility, but only in very specific situations. Luigi's up special would be the Propeller Mushroom. This will have Luigi fly up into the air with a little propeller hat, and then slowly descend, or you can descend more quickly by pulling down. I honestly just couldn't think of anything else to do for up special. Luigi's down special would be Gooigi, a new mechanic in Luigi's Mansion 3. Gooigi would work in a similar fashion to the way it works in Luigi's Mansion. When you press down special, Gooigi would spawn and then just kind of stand there, only attacking opponents when they're close by to him. However, by pressing down special again after that, Gooigi would actually start following Luigi, turning Luigi into kind of like an ice climber sort of deal, where you have 2 Luigis attacking next to each other, only a couple of frames off. Pressing down special again after that would make Gooigi despawn completely. Gooigi generally doesn't take a lot of knockback, and the only way to defeat him is with a water attack, and you would have about a 10-second cooldown until you can use him again.
Captain Falcon!
Captain Falcon already had most of his moveset made up. Being a racer, the first time he was actually playable as a character was in Smash, therefore I have to kind of make stuff up as well for him. However, for his neutral special, it can only be a different version of the Falcon Punch, because you cannot have a Captain Falcon without the Falcon Punch. So therefore for his neutral special, he would have the Super Falcon Punch. This is basically the same as the regular Falcon Punch, however it will be slower and stronger. This move will take about as long as Ganondorf's Warlock Punch, and it would gain super armor similar to that move, whereas the regular Falcon Punch doesn't have it. The move will still also be able to be reversed. For his side special, Captain Falcon finally used the gun that's been on his belt for the past 20 years and hasn't touched once, being that the only time he actually used it was on the comic instruction manual on the SNES. This move will be similar to Zero Suit's neutral special, with opponents being stunned for a second when it's used, however it will go slightly faster. His up special would look pretty similar to his normal up special, however with one key point. Instead of going diagonally backwards after catching someone, he would go diagonally forwards after catching someone, doing an uppercut while that happens. This is based off a martial arts grab technique, but I don't really know the name of it, but I mean you can get the idea. The uppercut part of this move would send opponents slightly to the side instead of up, meaning this move would be quite useful for stage spikes. His down special would be a quick spinning side kick with his legs encased in flames, similar to like most other Captain Falcon moves. This move would actually have a sweet spot at the end of the foot, which would have a lot more knockback than the regular part of the move, and I only did this move because I couldn't really think of anything else.
Ness!
Now, I've never played Earthbound, so we're just going to have to rely on the fandom wiki for this one. His neutral special would be PSI Rocking, which is one of the moves specific to Ness in Earthbound. This move would be very similar to PK Flash, but will have a much faster charge time, and the effects would be more red and yellow instead of green. His side special would be PSI Brain Shock, and when I heard Brain Shock I automatically thought of Mewtwo's Final Smash, so I assumed this move would be kind of similar to that, with Ness throwing a small bolt of purple lightning in front of him, and if it hits an opponent, they'll do a similar animation to Mewtwo's Final Smash, leaving them stuck there for a while and then sending them flying. So it's kinda similar to PK Fire, but with a different animation. Unfortunately, there wasn't any moves I could use for Ness's up special, so therefore it's going to have to be a basic teleport. However, because Ness and by extension Lucas's jumps have been made very high, in order to compensate for their very complicated up special, the teleport won't actually go that far. And lastly for down special would be PSI Shield. This would be similar to Magnet, however instead of absorbing energy projectiles for health, it would just be a regular shield, stopping all incoming projectile and melee attacks, basically being the same as Pit Shield.
Jigglypuff.
As I said before with Pikachu, I haven't played Pokemon a lot, so therefore I'm just going to be looking up a bunch of moves and just kind of working their way into Smash. So for neutral special, Jigglypuff would use Dazzling Gleam. This will cause a decent area around Jigglypuff to be covered in light, damaging opponents around her. You can kind of think of this as Bowser or Charizard's flamethrower moves, however this move would entirely encompass Jigglypuff. For her side special, she would use Body Slam. This would be kinda similar to the animations used for her dash attack, however this would have the same properties as her regular side special, being Pound, where it can break shields in one go, and even if you don't hit a shield, it would be quite a strong move and would send the foes pretty far. Up special would be Charm. This is essentially the same as Sing, however it will cause opponents to go dizzy instead of falling asleep. I think this move would be better against some other opponents, as sometimes using Sing to rest is kind of hard on smaller characters. And finally down special would be Bide. This is basically the same as Incineroar's Revenge, however unlike Revenge, this move doesn't power up all other moves, instead it just only powers up down special again. After using Bide, pressing down special again would make Jigglypuff punch her opponents similar to her regular side special Pound, and this move would scale depending on the move that hits her beforehand with Bide. Unfortunately this means that Bide will only be able to store one move at a time, instead of Incineroar which is able to store multiple.
Peach.
Just before I get started with Peach, I just want to say that I'll actually be giving Peach and Daisy separate moves, even though they're Echo Fighters. I know that in the previous video I said Samus and Dark Samus will share the same moves, however I feel that Peach and Daisy are different enough to warrant different moves, with Peach generally being laid back and passive, and Daisy being more energetic and competitive. I'm not saying that I'll be doing this with every Echo Fighter, but I want to give you a reason to choose one of these two characters besides your preference of Toad's colour. Anyway, Peach's neutral special would be Sleepy Time. This is a move she used in Mario RPG and will work basically the same as Jigglypuff's Sing, causing opponents around her to fall asleep. I think animation wise, this move would be something similar to her taunt she does where she dances around and little notes appear around her, just with the notes appearing a little bigger. Her side special would be Toad Charge, with a Toad appearing and running in front of Peach with his arms flailing about. This move is basically made so Peach can have some extra protection and to put some space between you and your opponent. Her up special would be basically the same as her regular Parasol up special, however it would not have a hitbox on the way up and would go much higher. This is basically similar to one of her actual custom moves from Smash 4, and I thought it would just fit very well. Down special would be the Heart Shield. This is basically the same as Pit Shield, with a ring of hearts appearing around Peach, nullifying all opponents' attacks around her. The idea for this originally comes from the heart item from Mario Kart Double Dash, which allows you to hold items you get hit by or run into. I think it would be cool if during this animation Peach goes into her ducking stance she does with her regular neutral B counter, while a small veil of pink and no energy encircles her with a heart spinning at the bottom.
Daisy.
As I said before, Peach's custom moves are more for defending herself than attacking, as she is a more passive character. Daisy, however, will have a bunch of strong energetic attacks similar to her personality. Being that Daisy only really appears in spin-off games nowadays, her neutral special would be sports equipment. This would be similar to the turnip down special, however instead of plucking up random turnips which would do a different amount of damage, she would have a whole bunch of random sports balls instead. She'd be able to pick up a golf ball, a tennis ball, a baseball, a basketball, and a football. These items can just be thrown and have different properties based on their real life mechanics. For example, the basketball will bounce and the golf ball won't. However, you can also hold the special button in order to do a special attack based on whatever ball you have. If you have the golf ball, Daisy would hit the ball with a golf bat. This move would go low to the ground and isn't very powerful. If she has the tennis ball, she would serve the ball with her racket. This move is more powerful than the golf ball and it goes at medium height. The baseball will have her wind up and throw the ball like a pitcher, and this would be the most powerful and fastest of the moves. With the football, she would kick it and will work similar to the football item in the game, and for the basketball, she would bounce on the ground a few times before throwing it as if trying to get it into the hoop. The basketball would bounce around on the ground and can bounce on enemies as well. Her side special would be Flower Bed Dash, which is based off Flower Bed Save from Mario Tennis. This would have a row of flowers appear in front of Daisy, and then she dashes forward, curls up into a ball and spins once. Then she extends out again and drop kicks any opponents in front of her. This move would have about the same amount of power as the drop kick side special the Mii Brawlers has. Her up special would be Torpedo Strike. This is a powerful 2-hit kick she does in Mario Strikers, and can be angled in any direction. This move would go about as far as Zero Suit's up special. However, this move will send Daisy into free fall after using it, so again be careful. Finally, down special would be Flower Power. This would be essentially the same as Wii Fit's down special, Deep Breathing, where it would heal Daisy up a bit and increase her attacking speed for about 10 seconds. And during this time she will become slightly lighter and will be more easily KO'd. Overall, I think I did a pretty good job of representing Peach and Daisy as they actually are. And yes, I know I took the sports ball idea from Duke of Dorks, but don't tell him that.
Bowser!
A new neutral special for Bowser is actually just kind of obvious. It will be a full-on fireball, similar to the ones he has done since the original Super Mario Bros. This was a move that already appeared in the custom specials in Smash 4, however, in there it didn't really do a lot of damage, so I'd like to see it do more. His side special would be the Spike Ball. Bowser would hold the Spike Ball up on top of him and then throw it forward, essentially being a bigger, slow Gordo. The Spike Balls are as big as Bowser himself, and would automatically start rolling forward when he throws it. Because it's so big, it might be hard to avoid it if you're right next to Bowser. However, if you're a decent amount away from him, you could be able to avoid it by jumping over it. The Spike Ball will disappear after it just rolls off the stage. His up special would be Whirling Tornado. This is essentially the same as Whirling Fortress, however with different properties. Instead of going upwards at an angle, it'll actually be more useful for horizontal recoveries, and it won't really go up at all. However, if you do want to go up with this up special, you would have to mash the B button similar to Dr. Mario's down special. Mashing the B button will allow the move to go much higher than the regular move, however you would sacrifice some of your horizontal movement. This move would obviously have the same frame data as the original move, so Bowser can still keep his crazy out of shield options. However, the move itself would do slightly less damage and knockback. Bowser's down special would be the Shock Quake. This would be essentially the same as his regular down special, however it will hold some of the properties of his boss battles, being where he jumps up into the air, lands back into the ground, and causes a ring of energy to damage opponents around him. Here, if Bowser lands directly on top of you, you will get buried. However, if you're not directly underneath Bowser, he will send out 3 electrical shockwaves around him when he lands. They won't do a lot of damage, but they will cause you to flinch, allowing Bowser to come and do a side B on you.
Ice Climbers!
As I said before, the Ice Climbers don't really have anything to take a moveset from, so again I just had to make things up. However, I do think I had a really good idea for their neutral special, so I'll be leaving that for last. So going on to their side special, this would be the Flurry Hammer. This would be essentially the same as their regular Squall Hammer, however it would move faster and lack the ability to mash the button to go higher, and it will just do more damage overall. Up special would be the Condor Rise. This would have the Condor, which is the main antagonist of the Ice Climbers, and their stage entrance in Smash Ultimate to give them a ride to help them recover. I think it would be kind of funny if they had a unique mechanic, where if both Ice Climbers are present, the Condor won't be able to fly as high as it would if there were only one Ice Climber present. However, you can just take it any way you want. The down special would be the old version of Blizzard, which is basically the same as what they have now, however both Ice Climbers will blow in different directions, instead of both in the same direction. I think in casual play this move was very great defensively, as it covered both areas around you, at least in my experience. So I think that it will be great to have this move back. And now finally neutral special. Originally I thought just to make a slightly faster version of their regular neutral special, but then I had a random thought. What if we use what's been their stock icon since Melee? The vegetables. I think it would be cool if they have a move where they pull out any random vegetable from their game, like an assist trophy, and each vegetable will give them a random status effect. This is what was the entire Ice Climbers game was about, which was recapturing stolen fruit from the Condor by climbing up the mountain to get him. The cabbage will heal 5% of damage. The cucumber will heal 8. The potato will heal 13%. The carrot will increase your speed by 1.3 times for 10 seconds. The turnip will increase your attack by 1.3 times for 10 seconds. The corn will increase your attack and speed by 1.15 times for 10 seconds. The pumpkin will increase their defense by 1.3 times for 10 seconds. The Chinese cabbage will reduce the knockback taken by the Ice Climbers for 10 seconds. The mushroom will increase knockback given by the Ice Climbers for 10 seconds. And finally, the eggplant. Being the entire icon of the series, the eggplant has to have something special. So this is what I decided to do. If you have the Ice Climbers out and they pull the eggplant, it will do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now you might be thinking, well then, what's the point? And the answer to that question is this. The eggplant will do nothing if the Ice Climbers get it. However, if the CPU Ice Climber has been KO'd and you pull out the eggplant, you will get the CPU back. And I think that alone would make this move terrifying. Anyway, that's all my ideas for custom moves for another bunch of characters in Smash Ultimate. What did you think about the ideas I've given? Would you change some of the moves to something else? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like as well. And if you don't want to miss more in the future, then subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Anyway, that's it for me for now, and until next time, see ya.